Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the new Baltany S205057 chronograph. I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys should know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or another. You'll always get my honest review on this channel, and if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'm going to be leaving an affiliate link down in the video description, so go check that out. If you guys use that link, you don't pay any extra. My channel will just benefit a little bit from a small commission earned on the sale. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. It allows me to keep this channel going. So I really wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you guys so much for the continued support. The retail price for this watch is about $142 US. That's before any taxes, sales, coupons, VAT, etc. The Baltany official store on AliExpress, they do participate in the sales. So keep that in mind when you're about to pull the trigger on this thing. This watch comes in two different colors. You have a black, and then you have this beautiful green that you see here. I think they both look great. They're both sunburst dials. And yeah, they just look really good. But you do have a couple different strap options: black, brown, leather, or a Milanese. So just keep that in mind. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal, screw-down crowns, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz movement. So Baltany has put out a bunch of these, 39mm chronographs. I have one here that I've been wearing a lot as well. Pretty much the same mid case, just different finishing. So yeah, they're really nice. I continue to really enjoy them. They did make a couple little changes on this, which I really like. I'm just curious how everyone else is gonna kind of react to these things. So I say we get right into this full review. But before we do, I'm doing a quick wrist check today, wearing my new Ixendao Engineer. Absolutely fantastic. The review for this one, they want me to hold off until 11/11. So yeah, the review for that will be right around the 11/11 sale. All right, so let's get to the dimensions. A case diameter of 39.1 millimeters, case thickness of 12.4 millimeters, and 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 46.7 millimeters, and on the supplied leather strap, it weighs about 70 grams. So again, that's pretty much the same size that we've come to see and come to expect from Baltany. Great proportions, great case shape. I love the turn down to the lugs here. Yeah, I've got really no complaints with the way this thing wears and the size of it. I think it's excellent. I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist. You can see we're skipping the strap and just going straight to the alternate straps. We've seen that strap on many watches before, so here we are on a Milanese. You can get this watch on a Milanese, so I figured I'd start out with this one. This one's just lifted off of one of my other watches, but yeah, a little too dressy for me, a little too shiny. If they made this in a matte Milanese, I think it would look pretty good with that crown, but as it is, I think it's just a little too shiny. And here we are in some direct sunlight on a suede strap, which is linked down below. You can see it right there, nice strong sunburst on this thing. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's really, really a dark green, but I think it looks fantastic. Yeah, very happy with the case shape on this, as you can see. I believe this is the same mid case we've had from Baltany on other watches. And it's no different. It just wears really, really nice. It hugs the wrist nicely. The bezel is a little bit different there, as you can see, a little bit more polishing than normal, and then obviously the pushers as well. They have that knurling on there, so they made some changes to the case. I think it looks really good. I'm going to go throw this on a couple other straps, and we'll get back to this review. Here we are on a vintage leather, again linked down below. This one kind of has some khaki stitching to it, so I think it looks pretty good with the khaki accents on the dial there. What do you guys think of that one? And lastly, here we are on just a normal nylon strap. You got two layers underneath the watch there, and it still is sitting really nice. This is gray and green. I think it looks pretty good together. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. So the case is a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces, and this is kind of where they've changed things up. So you have a vertical brushing on the top of the bezel here, as you can see. Now, sometimes on these vertical brushings, they get put on crooked. This one looks to be spot on to me. Looks really, really good. So that vertical brushing transitions to a nice polished chamfer here, as you can see. Sharp transitions, nice polishing as well. And then you got a vertical brushing around the edge of the bezel. Really, really nicely done. Very happy with that. I think it's a really nice touch to this bezel, a little bit different than what you typically see. And I just think it looks nice. Looks really cool. Working our way to the case itself, you have a circular brushing on the tops of the lugs, and again, very nicely done from Baltany. Always do a good job on these the brushing and polishing. Really nice and consistent horizontal brushing on this side. You can see there, I mean, there's no inconsistencies in it. It looks great. It has a nice luster to it. It looks really good. Even between the lugs here, nicely finished. Working our way to the crowns here, I'm going to call them out again. Baltany has a cool logo. They need to put it on their crown. I really want to see it on their crown. Baltany, if you're watching this, put your logo on the crown. I say it in every single video, and you've yet to do it. So please, just put it on the crown. It will be great. So again, you have a horizontal brushing on this side of the case here. Really cool knurling on the crown. Really nice and big crown here. Plenty of grip on these knurls. I think they look really cool. They kind of tool up the watch a little bit, make it feel a little more tooly. But yeah, really nice. Very happy with that. And again, that case curvature, just excellent. Flipping it over to the case back, you have a circular brushed case back, screw down case back, simple notches to get a tool in there if you ever need to change the battery on this thing. Yeah, zero complaints with this. Again, maybe throw their logo back here. It's not a big deal to me. I don't really care about signed case backs. It's not a big nitpick from mine. This bottom edge of the case here is nicely rounded off. No real sharp edges, maybe just a little bit sharp on the inside corners here. But yeah, other than that, no real issues, and it's been comfortable for me, so I've got no complaints with it. All right, let's talk about the crystal. First things first, we will test it for sapphire. You can see there, it is positive for sapphire, and it's a nice sapphire crystal. Plenty of NR reflective coating. It's a clear AR coating. The crystal is just a little bit different than typical. I'm thinking it doesn't have quite as much AR coating as this model does, but still plenty of AR coating. It does a nice job of keeping the dial nice and clean. And I say it's different because look at the side profile on this thing. Whoops. The side profile on this thing is just a little bit different than this one here. You can see this one has a nice, like pretty sharp chamfer on the edge there, where this one is just a little bit more rounded. So yeah, just a slightly different crystal. I do like it. It is a double dome. I don't know if I said that yet or not, but it is a double dome sapphire crystal. Yeah, like I mentioned, plenty of air coating. It does a really good job of keeping the dial nice and legible. I've got no complaints with it. As always, Baltany uses some of the best crystals in the business, and it continues in this model. I've got no complaints with it. All right, getting nice and close on the dial on this thing. This dial is awesome. Absolutely love the dial. The dark green sunburst looks fantastic. I know you saw a lot better out in the daylight shots, and but yeah, really nice dial. You got a really nice texture or grain to that sunburst. I think it looks really good. It's a very dark green, so at times it does just look black, as you can see right there. It just looks black, right? So it's just when that light catches it, you really catch that green, and I think it looks excellent. They did a nice job with the printing of all the dial indices and everything. It's a fully printed dial, so a white printed minute tracker on the outside. You have your faux patina at all the hour markers there. And then you have your white numerals. The white numerals, those are BGW9. The tan or khaki or patina lume, that is C3 Superluminova as well. So the lume on this watch is pretty good, and we'll get to that in just a moment. You get your simple Baltany branding there, and then Chronograph, really simple text. I don't see the need to put a whole bunch of text on a dial. You don't need it, and this proves it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. The subdials here, you have a subdial at the 3 o'clock position. That is your 24-hour counter. Pretty worthless, as most people say, but this is kind of the hand we're dealt if we want the Seiko VK movement. They don't have one here with a running seconds hand and a 2-dial layout, sadly. But you have your Chronograph minute counter here at the 9 o'clock position. Again, nicely done. Nice simple handset there. Slightly recessed subdials there, and they do kind of have their own sunburst pattern, as you can see right there on this 3 o'clock subdial. So really nicely done. I like that they used a fully marked minute track right here, so you don't have to kind of guess where you are like on some chronographs. I'm pretty happy with it. The alignment of the handset is nice and centered. Everything is done really good. I love the handset that they chose on this thing, kind of syringe style hands. Really nicely done. It's just a simple flat handset. It's not faceted or anything like that, but nicely polished, really, really clean, even under macro. I am very happy with the handset on this thing. I had this handset on a different Baltany chronograph. I liked it there, and I like it here. Nicely sized, in my opinion. One nice thing about this is that they have the date window down here at the 6 o'clock position. Really nicely done. I mean, it's simple, just a simple cutout with little chamfers there, but nicely done. It's centered perfectly. I've got zero issues with that, and I think it looks good. And speaking of good for a chronograph, the Lume is pretty good on this one. So I'm going to pop up a Lume shot here, and you can see it against the Militato chronograph, which is very similar to this watch, as well as the new Escapement Time Khaki. I think it does pretty good. It holds its own. It's not, you know, diver good Lume, but it is good enough for a chronograph, in my opinion. Really above average for a chronograph. All right, so let's talk about the movement in this thing. So the movement is the Seiko VK64 microquartz. If you're kind of unaware of what that is, it's a quartz-driven chronograph, but has mechanical parts in it. So it feels really good. It's nice and satisfying to use. Accuracy is plus or minus 20 seconds per month. 2 years of battery life, I believe. It does everything you need it to do. It's been a great movement. I've had these things in so many watches, and none of them have really failed me. So yeah, very happy with that. Screw-in crown here. Really nice and grippy and big, smooth screw-in, screw-out action. No complaints there. First position here obviously does nothing. Second position, you pull it out. This is where you change your date. We'll get to the single digits here so you can see the alignment on those. Oops. Like I said, spot on. Pulling it out to the third position, this is where you set your time. Here you can see the 24-hour. So yeah, it just kind of goes along with the handset there. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm whatever. I don't mind that it doesn't have a running seconds hand, but that's just me. Yeah, no jumping in the seconds hands or anything like that. Everything functions just as it should. So let's talk about these screw down pushers here. So again, nice screw in and screw out action on those things. Plenty of grip from the knurling. I really do like that. I think they look really, really cool. So clicking this top button here, that starts your chronograph seconds hand. I believe it's 5 ticks per second. So you get a pretty nice sweep of the chronograph seconds hand there. Very happy with that. Nice and snappy feedback on that as well. Press it again, nice and snappy feedback. And then the reset, you press down here and it'll snap right back to the 12 o'clock position. So yeah, everything functions as it should. Everything works as it should. I've got no complaints with these movements. They're great. They're reliable. They're accurate. There's really not much more you can ask from a movement like this. It's been great for me. All right, let's talk about the strap on this thing. So the strap is the same Baltany strap that you've seen on other watches. If you've watched any of my reviews of Baltanys, it's a decent strap. I do think the black one kind of wears a little bit softer than this brown one does. It does break in eventually. It is 20 millimeters and it tapers down to 18 millimeters. You can see the wear marks right here. So I'm kind of right in the middle for my 7-inch wrist. It'll probably go up to an 8-inch wrist and down to probably a 6-inch wrist. So plenty of adjustment holes, and I think it's a really good length. It's not too long. It's not too short. You got 2 keepers here. One of them is floating. One of them is stationary. And you've got a nice brushed buckle here. Again, it's a very simple buckle, but it's nice and solid. It's not flopping around or anything like that. Unsigned. So yeah, it's not a huge deal. Flipping it over here, you have your genuine leather stamped into it here. And then you got your Baltany branding here. Again, no quick release at this price point. I want to see some quick release pins in here. Yeah, so again, I'm going to complain about that until they start putting them in there. Quick release should be on a watch in this price range, in my opinion. But the strap, it's fine. It's serviceable. You're not going to want to throw it away. Definitely better than some of the other, cheaper brands out there. So yeah, it's okay. It's decent. So there you go, guys. That is the new Baltany S205057. I believe this one's going to be on a pretty good sale during the 11/11. Put it in your cart now. Purchase it for 11/11. I will still get the commission. But yeah, I think it's a great chronograph, and I love this new dial. Yeah, really simple, clean layout. I like the new knurling. I like the new bezel. I like the brushed case more than the bead blasted case. It just looks great. It's a nice looking chronograph. Very simple dial, but still very functional all at the same time. Yeah, not a whole lot to complain about. Just my typical gripes with Baltany of lack of branding on the crown and the case back, and no quick release. Other than that, this thing is excellent. So I think that's about it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.